Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Arc Synergy. Make sure you stick around. Today we're going to go over another state licensure information. So in those videos, you'll get all the information that you need in order to apply to renew your speech language pathology license in any state in the US. So feel free to check out our library of videos. Episodes, we go over each specific state licensure separately so they're easy to find and go through. And without any further ado, let's go into today's episode.
This week and the following next 2 weeks, we're going to cover Georgia licensing procedure. So to give a heads up and overview, Georgia is in the compact SLP state program and has 3 application routes and 1 procedural requirement that is a bit different from other states. So let's get right into it. So like I said, Georgia is a compact state, so make sure you check the ASLP interstate compact privileges before going through the full application process because you might not need to. If you're applying for a full Georgia license, like I said, there are 3 routes you can go through. The application has to be notarized, and they also have an endorsement exclusion if you are coming from specific neighboring states. So if you hold a home state license and your compact privileges, you're eligible for the compact privileges. So that means you can practice in Georgia without a separate state license. You can verify your compact status before applying. If you are applying for like the traditional route, make sure you go through goals. That is the online licensing portal. So it's goals.sos.ga.gov. You can go straight to the website from the Arc Synergy app. Georgia requires the application to be completed, signed, and notarized, and that is not optional, and it's not something that you can do online. So if you submit your application without notarization, it will not be processed. So factor this into your timeline when you are planning for the paperwork.
I hope that today's episode have been really enjoyable for you so far. Please take the time to leave us a review, to leave us a comment, and to like today's episode. It will really help us develop those videos and put them out faster. And if you have the time, feel free to check out the Arc Synergy app on both iOS and Android. The app is free and there is a free clinician plan, so you don't have to worry about doing any subscription to get started in the app. And let me know what you think. Now, let's get back into the episode.
So the first route that Georgia offers is by examination route. So this is the standard route for new graduates if you've just completed your CF. So you must submit your praxis score directly from ETS using the Georgia board code. You must have your official graduation transcripts sent directly to the board, and also complete your fingerprint as well with the notarized application. The second route is by ASHA certification. So if you hold a current ASHA Cs, Georgia accepts that in lieu of exam scores. So you can arrange for ASHA to send your C verification directly to the board. This is the easiest route if you are a C certified SLP. The third route is by endorsement. If you hold an active, unencumbered SLP license in a Georgia-approved endorsement state, that usually means a state with equivalent standard, you can apply by endorsement with a license verification directly sent from that state. Something to keep in mind is that South Carolina, for some reason, is explicitly not on Georgia's approved endorsement state list as of the time of this recording. So if you currently hold a license in South Carolina, you cannot use the endorsement route. You must apply either by ASHA certification or by examination route. Every other bordering state, though, is approved. So that includes most US state and DC as well for endorsement. If you plan to work in Georgia pre-K to 12 school, so within the school system, you will need additional certification on top of your state license. So you'll need a professional certificate from the Georgia Professional Standard Commission, or the GAPSC. So the requirement for the GAPSC include you need to pass the content knowledge assessment for speech pathology exam. You need to pass the ethics assessment, and also the literacy assessment that is required for certificates issued starting this year. And you need to complete a special education course and pass that with a grade of B and higher. You also will need to submit separate background check, fingerprint background check through the GAPSC. Some exceptions are available for some of the requirements. So the content assessment, for example, you can be exempt with 5 or more years of successful out-of-state educator experience, or by passing an equivalent out-of-state exam. You also, for the ethic exam, you can be exempt with at least 3 years of verified out-of-state educator experience. The special education course can be deferred at issuance, but it must be completed before renewal or conversion. And if you hold an ASHA C and you're applying for the GAPSC credential, you also can qualify for the exam exemption as well. You need to confirm that directly with the GAPSC. Since it depends on when and your Cs were issued as well. If you're an SLP providing services through the Georgia Babies Can't Wait Early Intervention Program, you'll also need more than the state license. You must also be enrolled as a Medicaid and Peach Care for Kids provider and enroll with at least one Georgia Medicaid Care Management organization within 60 days of contracting with Babies Can't Wait. So this is a separate credential process. And the application fee for any of the routes that I mentioned earlier to obtain a license is $120. The current processing time is approximately 20 days. We keep all the board's contact information on the ArcSynergy app. So that includes their phone numbers and their email address. And we keep those up to date, so you can always check it out. So to close out for today, so if you're seeking a license in Georgia, make sure you check, because Georgia is part of the compact licensure group, so you might not have to go through the full application process. But if you need to go the traditional route, you have 3 application routes. You need to notarize your application. And always remember that South Carolina, if you're coming from South Carolina and you hold a license there, you have to go through the examination route or the ASHA route. And school contracts, you need to go through the credential through the GAPSC. It's because you need that certification on top of your state license. That's it for today. The next video will go over the provisional permits for clinician doing the clinical fellowship in Georgia. Thanks for watching.